Right. You mentioned the UNCRC is there, the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. I mean, this is something you're absolutely fundamentalist and passionate about. Basically a children's rights law in shorthand. Let's get into that. The background to this is that the Scottish Parliament voted unanimously to incorporate this convention into Scots law 2 years ago. The Supreme Court in London said, no, you're going to make a few tweaks to it to make it within the competency of Holyrood. Since then, nothing so far. Why is it so important? What difference would it really make?
This is the most important thing we can do in legal terms to improve children's lives. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is actually, it's over 30 years old. We signed up to it a long time ago. And on the 30th anniversary, children gave us 7-word stories about why it was important to them. And they said things like, my rights are my armour to me. So there's a protective element of rights. They keep us safe.
So are they at risk without this being incorporated into Scots law just now?
They are. And again, another 7-word story was rights are help before you even ask. Because this isn't a matter of charity. This is an obligation on government. And what this law will do will actually improve the way in which we can hold those in power to account. So these rights already exist, but at the moment when we fail to deliver for children on things like housing and support, on education, on mental health, where we know we're not doing well enough, it's very difficult to hold those in power to account.
So you make them do things?
Yes. And so what this law, unanimously passed, as you said, by the Scottish Parliament over 2 years ago, said is that if public bodies fail to deliver on those things, you can actually use legal powers to hold them to account. And countries that have already done this, so a number of countries have already done this, what you see is a really good sustained change and focus on rights, making sure that children's voices are heard and their rights are respected.
OK, listen, I've got a statement from the Scottish Government here. It's a critical piece of legislation. Ministers are determined to bring it back to Parliament for reconsideration as soon as practicable. Work to achieve it's underway, and it goes on. Why do you think they've not... You're shaking your head.
I'm hugely concerned. There's been a year and a half of prevarication and delay from the Scottish Government. We met with ministers within hours of the Supreme Court judgment, which we probably knew was coming anyway, because the law did step into functions of the Westminster Parliament, and said really clearly, you need these amendments back. We were expecting it back by Christmas. 18 months later, we've got no time frame, there's no sight of the amendments that are needed.
Why? Why do you think it's not happening?
I don't know. And also within the power of the Scottish Government, they could commit right now to immediate commencement. The bill actually might delay 6 months, even after Parliament passes it and the King approves it. There could be another 6-month delay, and Scottish Government won't even commit to immediate commencement. And there doesn't seem to be any sense to me, but it's a piece of legislation about accountability, and maybe no one wants to be held to account.